Broncos Tigers. Backs are 46-12. What did you make of this result?
A bar from, let's just not even talk about the Broncos because they were just humming to a T. That was like they're a finely tuned Mustang that's just quietly running along at 100 kilometers an hour, and they're just performing at the best, like you expect a top Mustang car to run. Let's talk about the Tigers here now. When this game came up, I really wanted to talk about the Tigers here, and from what I'm seeing from the Tigers, can they score points? Yeah. Can they defend well in periods and patches? Yes. Do they need to put in an 80-minute performance? Yeah, but it's going to take some stepping stones to get from where they are at now, which is moments and glimpses and patches within the game, to putting in a 30-minute performance of defensively. If they showed half an hour of just resilient, great defense against any side that just throws them, let's just say they have, like, going into halftime, the opposition has 90% of the ball and the Tigers have 10, but the scoreline's locked at 2-0. You'd say that the Tigers have turned a new leaf and they can start to build on this. But unfortunately, this issue is not on field. This comes from the CEO in Justin Pascoe. Mate, the bloke and all these other boards, like he's in at halftime. I think it's Justin Pascoe, but he's in at halftime and he's just sitting there on his phone. And now this bloke's got to report back to the board and the owners of the club, and they're going to go, oh, how Sheeny's going? Is he going well? Mate, you don't have no clue because your head's so far up your phone, you couldn't even tell you what time it is. The boys could have left the sheds and you'd be looking around going, oh, where's everybody? But he talks about, in the last 8 years that this bloke has looked over the West Tigers, they've gone back down worse and worse every year. Yeah, they've built this center of excellence, which I call a center of mediocrity. It's just an absolute joke. They've got a barber in there. They made sure there was a barber on standby in there for all the boys to do their hair. Like, mate, don't worry about that. Go down to Big W, buy a $20 pack of hair clippers and do them yourself at home. Who cares about how you look if you're playing shit on the field? They need to start, like, they've got this plan of Sheensy looking after the squad for 3 or 2 years and then Benji for the rest, and Robbie Farah being the assistant coach to Benji. But, mate, there are some players there that do not deserve to be playing NRL. There are some players there that are, you got to give them a game because they will perform better than these players. You pick your best 13 players and you just try and shuffle that squad. There's no point moving Dewey from six to center to fullback when all preseason he's training as a 6. You got Luke Brooks who, against the Dogs, they're rolling to try and get the win. There's 20 minutes left on the scoreboard, and he, on the last tackle option, he decides to run and get tackled and a handover with 2 meters out from the line. Like, this bloke's a joke. Get rid of him. He's had 13 years at the top of his game. Get rid of it. Get rid of his big paycheck and start investing in their local juniors. Bleed some young players through, because these young blokes whoever they are, when they come through, they don't have any of the battle wounds and all the old scars of the last 8 years that what the other people have copped, like your Packers and unfortunately Josh Reynolds at the time there, and Ivan Cleary, get on the bus or you're off it, and you got none of that. You come in with a fresh, clean canvas and you can move forward, and you could play Benji, Sheensy, Farah ball. You could play all of it together, take the best out of it, put it all together and perform well. But it won't start until you get the head office right and it the head office right and it flows down through the grades. Like, this club's a joke from the top, and you can't ever fix anything. Basically, this is a pile of shit, and they're just trying to sprinkle it on, sprinkles over the top of it, and trying to make it look pretty. That's what the CEO of the club is doing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Tigers fan, it does sound quite harsh, but I think a lot of Tigers fans will be in agreement with you that Justin being on his phone at half time when you're sitting down 28-0, about to go 0-5. It's not the look of the club moving forward. And you look at the players, to name a few, that have left this club: Tedesco, Pappenhausen,
Foxy.
what's his name? Mitchell Moses. Like, there's all these players that have left this club after going through their juniors. They leave the club, they get into a professional environment, and they go on to win titles. They go on to break records. They go on to be player of the year in their position.
Oh, there's so many players that have let go. So many.
Yeah, but like you said, that center of excellence. Okay, yes, there's some things in there it shouldn't be in there, but that should have been the foundation of, okay, now we have this center of excellence. Let's put in the work. Let's put some pride back into this West Tigers name. But instead, you're looking at a side that you've added Api Coruscant to, you've added Papali'i into, and they look worse than any Tigers side I can remember in the last couple of years. They look flat.
They're Api, he's trying so hard to bring some. Okay, this is what it takes to win back-to-back premierships. That's what he's bringing to the club. This is what it's like. You got Benji, Sheensy, and Farah, 3 players who have won a premiership all together at the same time. And, you got Appy, you got Isaiah Papali, who's a Origin starter. They're trying to build something, and it's just like, we're just going to play as our weakest link. Whoever is the shittest bloke on the park, we're going to play it up to his level because we don't want to stand out. Now, this is when David Clemens should be taking the ball into his fist and breaking through tackles, offloads, post-meter gains. He should be leading the pack from the front, but yet he just sits and does nothing. He's happy to run 80 meters to stand up for a bloke who's having a biffer after full time. Mate, this club is a joke. They need to move forward. You talk about all those other players. They moved on Aaron Woods early prime before he went to the Dogs. They moved on Marty Powell before he went to the Manly Seagulls when he was in his prime. I remember Marty Powell Tigers, he was just absolute, you don't want to tackle him. He was like the Dave Taylor of South Sydney. You took 4, 5, 6 blokes just to bring him down, and they want to move him and get, Packer in on big money and all these other blokes, Foxy, all the other good juniors. It's an absolute joke of a club, and if I had to kick a team out right now to make it 16 teams, I'm gladly picking this team.
Well, I do agree with 99% of the things you said, but obviously David Clement, you told him he had to hold onto the ball and run and break some tackles. So let's just work on holding onto the ball, and we'll see if he can run and make some tackles after that. But like you said, it's absolutely dismal times if you are a West Tigers fan, and from all accounts, I think I've seen majority of them start to support the Dolphins this year. So that shows you how bad it is going. But quick recap, because it isn't all bad. We look at the Broncos. They're flying. They're not playing a complete 80-minute result yet, and they're still putting on average 30, 40 points on their teams that they're playing against. So still good things to come. Reece Walsh, brilliant again. He does lead the Dally M's. So there is a lot of good things looking forward. Pat Carrigan,
joint leader.
He's leading the Dally M's, mate. If you look at the Dally M's posted on the NRL today, he's the highlight player, number 1. If it was to finish, he takes it out. So we're going to sit there.
He's a joint winner.
We're going to sit there. We're going to say Walsh is playing well. Carrigan's playing well. Payne Haas is playing unbelievably fucking well. He's probably the most in-form player on over $1 million at the moment. But good signs moving forward for Brisbane. A bit dodgy for the Tigers. But let's move into the top performers from this game. And obviously in the tackles, you have Capewell on 29. You have Isaiah Papali'i on 32. Run meters, you have Cobbo on 234 with Adam Dewey on 143. And line breaks, the man we just spoke about them, Reece Walsh on 2 with Junior Tupu on 2. Now, when you've got a player in Reece Walsh in the back line, and then you've got Cobbo running at 234 meters, is this a good sign moving forward? Like, for you to have your top tackler at 29 tackles, it kind of means that everyone's chipping in there for Brisbane. And then for Cobbo to put up 234 meters and to be one of the young players in this team, it's a good sign moving forward for Brisbane. Am I correct?
Yeah, it is a good sign from all accounts for all players. You talk about 29 tackles being the the most for the Brisbane Broncos as I quickly try and look at their tackling counts. Cobbo running more than Walshy. Maybe he's doing more of letting his outside wingers come in and make more of those hit ups from tackle 1, tackle 2 when the defense is turned and tired. Then comes on Reece Walsh who breaks through the game. It's unbelievable. And as I dally on, I'm going to give it to you. You got Kurt Cable, who's got 29. Ezra Mann, 26. Jordan Ricky, 24. Thomas Flegler, 20. Payne Haas, 19. Billy Walters, 17. Adam Reynolds chipping in at 14. The list goes on as it goes down, but as he's touched on, everybody's chipping in and everybody's stepping up at, okay, Kate was doing 29. Okay, that's the bar we're going to set to. Okay, we've got to meet that bar and we're going to meet that challenge each and every week. And it's not just a one-man show. It's finally a squad, and the Brisbane Broncos look like the Brisbane Broncos once again.
Yeah, 100%, and obviously a great result for Brisbane Tigers. Well, I'd say better luck next week because I really do hope you somehow knock off Parramatta, but it is looking quite dismal. But like Sheensy did say, you have the bye in a couple of weeks, so hopefully you can put a result on them. But I might be tipping the bye that week for its first ever win in the NRL.